Hey guys, Elijah Williams here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use the pen tool, rotate and duplicate tool to create a wing effect. Now in this video we're going to use the design on scarf number 1, and I'm going to show you how I created this wonderful wing effect in each corner. Now if we go to a new file, you'll see I already have the wing already here. And believe it or not, to create this effect is very easy and very simple, and all you need is actually 2 lines. So if I scale back the design now, you'll see as I get rid of all of the lines, we'll be left with the last 2 lines, or the first 2 lines for the effect. And there we are there. So this is essentially the whole design, which is these 2 lines. And what you want to do, you want to select the pen tool, okay? Now, normally with the pen tool, you'll start from the top and draw your line to the bottom, okay? But we're not going to do that for this one. We're going to start from the bottom and draw a line to the top, okay? And you'll see why in a minute. So if I try my best to draw the exact same line here, so we start from the bottom, add a bit of curve to the line, okay? Maybe a bit more, going to the top of the screen there, okay? That's one there, and we do another one. Do my best to make it similar. Okay, maybe add just a bit of curve there. That's fine, okay? Now I want to add some weight to the line, say about 6, and then I'm going to change the profile, flip it. So it's heavy at the bottom and very light at the top. Now what you want to now use is the rotate tool. So you want to select these 2 lines here, and you want to select the rotate tool, which is right here, or you press R on your keyboard, which is quicker, and then you want to use your cursor and you want to click on the end of the bigger line, which is right here. You want to click over there, okay? So you want to click there, which is great. Zoom out a bit, and now you want to move the 2 lines somewhat in the middle, okay? Now this is where the duplicate tool comes in. So to select the duplicate tool is that you would have already highlighted your lines, you would have used the rotate tool, you would have told Illustrator where you want to rotate, and then by selecting the 2 lines, you then drag to the position that you want to move it to, and then to duplicate it, you press the Alt key on your keyboard, which will show these 2 lines. Will show these 2 arrows, a black arrow and a white arrow. So that means that the duplicate tool has now been selected. And then when you let go of the mouse, you'll see that your lines now go into that section. And now you want to duplicate this line, or these lines. And the way you do that is that with the 2 lines already selected, you want to hold Command or Control, and you want to press the letter D on your keyboard. Now that's the duplicate tool, and you can duplicate it as many times as you like. So I'm just going to duplicate it a few times here. So we got okay, so that's duplicated enough. Okay, so that's how you can already see that it's already taken place. Now the reason why you draw your line from the bottom to the top using the pen tool is so that you'll be able to bend the lines in the next step. Okay, so over a few trial and error, I realized that if I draw my line from the top to the bottom, it doesn't really bend whenever I try and move it. So drawing it from the bottom to the top is the way that you achieve that kind of bend look. And the way that you do that is that you select your direct selection tool, which is the white arrow. So you press A on your keyboard. And what you want to do now is that you want to select all of the bottom anchor points, okay? So you do that just by selecting just that section there. So all of the end points now are selected, okay? So if you zoom out to get a better look, you now want to select all of the anchor points that are all huddled up on the bigger line, and you just want to just drag it to the position. And as you can see, hopefully you can see it on the screen, that the lines start to bend, okay? You can just see the lines starting to bend a bit, okay? And that's how you create that kind of bend effect. And you can always select all of the anchor points on the top of the design just by selecting the top ones only, and just by selecting one of them you can get the effect that you need out of that. Okay, so that's how that's done there. Okay, so if you go back to your normal arrow there and you put it sideways, you can see there. Now with this section here, in my original design, you can see that if I zoom in and show you that the lines overlap somewhat halfway through the design. Now when you're bending your lines, the lines are going to separate naturally, so that's very easy to do. All you do is select all of the bottom lines there and you just move them to the top. Okay, move them to an area that you want to move them to. Okay, and then you can just spread them out as you go along. So remember, like, whatever you design is not paved in stone. You can change it. Okay, and you can select them all again, and then you can just bend them a bit there. Okay, so that's how you do it there. Okay, so we've got something that looks pretty similar to the design there. Okay, now the next thing you want to do now is you want to group this. So as you can see here on our layers, we've got all these different lines here, too many to count. Okay, so you don't want to be selecting, you don't want to have to select every single line to move it, so you want to group it. So you group it by Command G, which means that that's now one picture. It doesn't matter wherever you click, all of the lines are now highlighted. And what you want to do now is that you want to now copy this design and you want to paste it in front. Okay, so you can either paste in front or paste in back, and what that does is that it pastes, instead of, let me show you here, I've copied this design now, and then I press Command V to paste it, and you can see it pastes somewhere on the screen. Okay, but it doesn't paste it directly on top of the design that I just copied, which can be a pain. So if you want to do that, you press Command C to copy it, and then Command F to print in front. And as you can see there, we now have two of the same thing. So if I show you there, see, you wouldn't even know that there's two overlapping on top of each other. Now what you want to do, you want to lock the first one, the one on top, which means that you will not select it. So whenever you select it, you only select the bottom one, and you want to add a fill to it. So in this case, we use the blue that we used in scarf number 1, and that's the fill design there. So as you can see, that's the makings of that effect. And then of course you can always edit it around and make it look somewhat different. Let me do that again. Let me select everything and unlock this. So now I'm selecting both of them, and then we can just stretch that out a bit more. Okay, so that's something there. So now if we go over to our main screen and we do that again, and we just enlarge the wing here. And we just select, instead of selecting the rotate tool, we're going to select the reflect tool, which is by pressing O on your keyboard, and we're just going to put the cursor right dead in the middle of the design. Well, first we have to highlight, and then we use the reflect tool, click it right in the middle of the design, and with our wing selected, we're then going to hold down Shift, and we're just going to put it in each square there. So there you have it there, and that is what you would call the makings of that wing design there. Now of course you can edit this and you can make it look like however you want to make it look like, but essentially those are the basic guidelines of how you create that design there. And all we used was the pen tool, the rotate tool, and the duplicate tool. Okay, and then that's it, guys. So if you've learned something, definitely let me know. And if there's anything else you want me to cover, please let me know. Let's start the conversation. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And on to the next one. Thank you.